bed and let's talk Jaguars football from my house.
All right, folks. So Tom Coughlin, we've all heard, is out. The Jags made the announcement yesterday that his services will no longer be needed there.
All right, so that's now. What's next, though, for the rest of the team, specifically guys in the front office, specifically guys who coach the team? To find out, let's wake up our sports director, Chris Porter, ready and raring to go live with my aunt. Wow. Beautiful Christmas tree. Lovely morning. Good to see you guys. Chris, what happened? Why the firing? Why now?
First of all, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Here's the big deal, Lewis Turner. Number one, you can't have back-to-back losing seasons and think you're going to have your job, and the Jaguars are already guaranteed of that. But I think the biggest deal was that NFL Players Association with that statement on Monday that revealed that the Jaguars have to pay former Jaguar Dante Fowler Jr. more than $700,000 after he filed a grievance back in 2018 against the team. And then the NFLPA went on to say, not just that, but when you're warning free agents that you want to consider, you want to be cautious if you're going to go to Jacksonville, that's absolutely absurd. That cannot happen. That speaks to the culture. And they went even further when they said, of 25% of all of the grievances filed since 2017 were against the Jaguars. Let me give you some perspective. Since that same time, only 3%, the NFL league averaged 3%. Something was not right, and I believe that was the final straw. At least if I were Shad Khan, I would have definitely fired Tom Coughlin after the NFL Players Association released all of that information.
All right, you said you would have done it. So what do you think? Tom Coughlin saw this coming, and is this enough damage control getting him out of there?
One, I believe he did see it coming, and I'll tell you why I thought that. A couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago now, we had those 2 home games after being on the road, it seemed like forever, and Coughlin came out and did a press conference in which he called on the fans to come out and to support this team. If you watched us at 5 o'clock that afternoon, the first words out of my mouth was, I believe that it wasn't so much about the fans, but it was an opportunity for Coughlin to make a case for his job, and I'll tell you why. During that press conference, he ran down all the things that he and the top brass had done since 2017, talking about the young talent they have, like the likes of Josh Allen, Ngakoue, Minshew. I thought from that precise moment, it's not so much about trying to get the fans to come out, because basically at that point we knew that the season was going to be a losing one, but it was an opportunity for Coughlin to say to Khan publicly, hey, we've done a lot of good things here, man. We got some young talent. Just trust us. Unfortunately, though, for him, it's not enough. And then one other thing I want to mention, I thought it was interesting in Shad Khan's statement, if you remember it from last night, when he talked about he had made the decision to go in a different direction as far as Coughlin is concerned earlier this fall, but he thought it would be best that if he fired Coughlin, it would be best to do it at the end of the season. But after some recent situations, he decided now is the time. So that means that Khan knew he was going to get rid of Coughlin earlier this fall, and it also further proves my theory that he and Khan had conversations, and when Coughlin had that press conference, again, it was an opportunity to say publicly why he thinks he should keep his job.
We talked a lot
about as far as damage control, the damage has been done.
Yeah.
The season is lost. We need to go in a different direction.
It's over.
So with the damage done, do you think that we're in now for a culture change now that Coughlin is out?
No doubt about it. Whenever when you hear about these grievances filed against the Jacksonville-Jaguars since 2017, 25% of them have been against the Jaguars. The culture can only get better, you would have to think, because this was all on Tom Coughlin's watch. And as we know, we've heard the likes of Jalen Ramsey, especially after he was traded to the Rams, speaking of the culture over at TIAA Bank Field. And he wasn't the only player who felt that way. Dante Fowler also tweeted something as well. And we also know that Tom Coughlin's personality, it wears on people. His style wears on people. Michael Strahan talked about it from his days in New York. So hopefully this, the first of what should be, in my opinion, several changes, will begin to change the culture over at TIAA Bank Field.
Thank you, Chris. And Shad Khan doesn't have the best record as an owner. Should he bear some responsibility for some of these hires he has made? And when are the coach and GM next?
Absolutely. He's the owner. He has the final say. This was his guy. He felt Coughlin would come in and work wonders. And his first year, he did have a good year with the Jaguars. Remember, we won the division. Remember, we went to the AFC Championship game. Remember, we were just a catch away, a Miles Jack. He wasn't down away from advancing to the franchise's first ever Super Bowl. But here's the problem. This is a what have you done for me lately league. And you are judged by what you are doing right now. And as of right now, we're sitting at 5-9. We're having yet another disappointing season. We're talking draft already instead of talking playoffs. And the Jaguar fan base, they have made it perfectly clear, abundantly clear, that enough is enough and massive changes need to be made. I believe that and I don't like to, I'm not a fan of getting people fired, but I think Tom Coughlin was just a part of the problem. I do feel the Jaguars do need to clean house. We do need to wipe the slate clean, because here's the deal. It makes perfect sense, because when you think about all the draft picks that we have over the next couple of years, the young talent that we have on this roster, why not bring in a new regime that can come in and can build, take those picks, and also with the addition of some free agents, get this franchise back on track. Let's not do like we did when we fired Gus Bradley, when you got rid of Bradley, but you allowed Caldwell to hang around. Let's just completely wipe the slate clean and start over.
Yeah, it seems like that might just be where all of this is headed after another troubling year. But hey, wins fix everything, wins change everything. I really do wonder what happens if the Jags go out, beat the Falcons, then beat division rival Colts in games that don't really mean anything for postseason, but geez, would it feel good. Chris Porter, Ma'at, y'all have a fantastic morning. I know we'll see a lot of y'all a little later on First Coast News.